minute.
Tonight on Turner Classic Movies, physicist George Sanders discovers his wife has been impregnated by an alien whose plan is to overthrow the Earth with demonic children in Village of the Damned. Then on our silent Sunday night, veteran director Raoul Walsh leads Rockcliffe Fellows through the regeneration. And Australian reporter Mel Gibson becomes swept up in an Indonesian political uprising in the year of living dangerously. Turner Classic Movies is treading on dangerous ground here tonight.
This is your ticket to Turner Classic Movies. Now playing. Man, what a guide. 30 frames per second, 24 hours a day, more than 350 movies per month. Now playing. The official viewer's guide to Turner Classic Movies is out of the bag and ready to roll. Just call 1-800-TCM-1002, and before you know it, Now Playing will be at your door each month as a roadmap to your favorite stars and films on Turner Classic Movies. Now Playing, for only $9.97 per year, it will make you the film leader, acetate and emulsion combined. Month after month, in the pages of Now Playing, you'll get a rack focus on the greatest collection of films anywhere. Ah, movie-licious. It's Now Playing, the viewer's guide that dishes out what's playing when, 24 hours a day, with easy-to-read movie schedules that tells you who's in them and who made them, along with highlights of TCM's monthly stars and director tributes, film festivals, and weekly showcases. Now Playing, it's the extreme close-up projector of the future. Plus, each copy of Now Playing brings you a behind-the-scenes cover story written by our own Robert Osborne, who shares his years inside Hollywood with you. Now Playing. Dig these movie-drenched pages and those in-depth descriptions and schedules. Just call 1-800-TCM-1002, and each month you'll be able to look up when your favorite movies will be on Turner Classic Movies. Now Playing. Right now, it's over 50% off the cover price for a year's worth of movie schedules and so much more. It's Now Playing. So call 1-800-TCM-1002 or send check or money order to Now Playing, P.O. Box 420934, Palm Coast, Florida, 32142-0934. And for only $9.97 per year, get your ticket to movie heaven from Turner Classic Movies. Allow 6 to 12 weeks for delivery.
Grace Kelly, Spencer Tracy.
Vincent Minnelli, typical Hollywood story.
Damn good actors.
You gotta hold on and listen. That money I gave you, I didn't borrow it, I stole it.
Oh, Joe.
I like Anthony Mann. I loved working with him very much. He was a good man. We came to New York to do locations, and it was one of the first times that they were doing, you know, location rather than on the back lot. So we shot all over the city, you know, in the film, and we ended up shooting on Sunday morning down on Wall Street. It was a big chase. He was a wonderful man and a good director.
Take to the streets of New York in Side Street, Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Turner Classic Movies.
the final days of World War II, it seems inconceivable that the Allies might have lost the war. But the fact is that at the very time the greatest assault force in history was successfully launching the invasion of Normandy, German scientists were on the terrifying threshold of a one-sided push-button war. Somewhere in Nazi Germany, poised and protected from retaliation under 90 feet of steel, reinforced concrete, and solid rock, Vengeance 10, a rocket capable of destroying whole cities, was in the final stages of testing. How did it happen? How was it possible for German scientists to make such fantastic progress with rocket research and development? For the answer to this question, we must go back 14 years to the New Mexico desert in 1930. Working with just a small staff and grants of less than $200,000 from the Daniel and Florence Guggenheim Foundation, one man, American scientist Dr. Robert Hutchings Goddard, represented the entire United States rocket research program. Dr. Goddard, whose life work was devoted to rocket development, was not only a brilliant scientist, but was also a man of vision, who foresaw the many uses to which his discoveries would one day be put. However, as we see in these early films, Dr. Goddard's initial experiments met with something less than success. But with each effort came new knowledge to apply to the next attempt. From these early experiments came many pioneering achievements which have hardly been improved upon even to this day. Here, Dr. Goddard demonstrates gyroscopic control. Other Goddard innovations include the use of movable vanes for steering, a removable nose cone for the storage of instruments for recording information, and most important of all, the development and practical application of a liquid fuel system. Parachute recovery of rockets was still another Goddard innovation. In years to come, every single one of these developments is destined to become a critical part of the German rocket program. Goddard's work captured the attention of the American press and the American public, but unfortunately, interest was focused on the romantic rather than the scientific implications. And although the United States government took Goddard's work somewhat more seriously than either the press or the public, they did, however, reject his proposals for a more far-reaching rocket development program. But if the United States would not buy Goddard's dream, another nation would. For 10 cents each, the cost of handling charged by the United States Patent Office, German scientists were able to purchase copies of all of Dr. Goddard's patents. It was one of history's greatest bargains and strangest ironies. It is now the early 40s. Robert Goddard has been summoned to Annapolis, Maryland to work on the JATO program. JATO, the utilization of rockets for jet-assisted takeoff of propeller-driven aircraft, is considered by the United States to be the only practical military application of rockets. At this same time, at Peenemünde, Germany, the Nazi rocket development program has come to this. All the knowledge acquired by Dr. Goddard and other rocket scientists throughout the world is suddenly in the possession of German scientists and has become the basis for Hitler's most closely guarded secret, the V for Vengeance rocket weapons project. Here in captured film footage, we see that early German efforts like Goddard's encountered many problems. But in spite of these early failures, German rocketry in the early 40s was clearly years ahead of any other nations. Hitler had lavished over $125 million on the Peenemünde guided missile establishment. But Prior to the development of the V-2 rocket came the notorious V-1, the buzz bomb. A major breakthrough in the development of the V-1 rocket is recreated here in this dramatic scene from the MGM film Operation Crossbow. Hanna Reich, the famous German aviatrix, flies aboard a V-1 to try to discover the cause of its erratic behavior in the air. Before her, many others had been killed attempting the same feat. Miss Reich is still alive today. In 1942, another woman plays an equally important role in the history of rocketry. Constance Babington Smith, a British intelligence photographic interpreter, calls attention to an unidentifiable object on a reconnaissance photo taken over Peenemünde, Germany. This, together with mounting rumors of a massive German rocketry program, is enough to prompt Prime Minister Winston Churchill to launch a full-scale investigation. Operation Crossbow is born. August 17th, 1943. Winston Churchill authorizes over 600 heavy bombers, almost the entire striking force of the RAF Bomber Command, to head out over the North Sea for Peenemünde, Germany. He knows that mass retaliation by the German Luftwaffe and ground anti-aircraft installations could possibly destroy British air power in a single action. But the gamble pays off. Fantastically. The German rocket program is now delayed a year, just long enough so that it cannot impede the projected Allied invasion of Normandy. But the threat is hardly ended, and Phase 2 of Operation Crossbow swings into action. A specially trained group of Allied espionage experts is parachuted into German-held territory to infiltrate the rocket research and development centers. What they see leaves no doubt in anyone's mind that the Germans are, in fact, producing the most colossal weapons arsenal in the history of mankind, and a projected quota of sufficient size to annihilate the city of London. But the V-2 rocket is not Hitler's ultimate weapon, for in the closing days of World War II, the Nazis are dangerously close to the completion of the V-10 rocket, known as the New York model. This, then, was the challenge that the men and women of Operation Crossbow faced. And as it is brought to the screen in full color by Metro Goldwyn Mayer, it assumes the significance it deserves. Operation Crossbow stars Sophia Loren and George Peppard in a suspenseful and dramatic reenactment of this unique story of wartime espionage and intrigue. Because of Operation Crossbow, what began here with the first experiments of rocket pioneer Robert Goddard can continue here in the limitless search of a boundless universe by free and dauntless men.
This is director Joshua Logan, probably best remembered as creator of such motion pictures as South Pacific and Sayonara. Now he's come to this Pacific Island resort to make a new motion picture. It's called Ensign Pulver. Finding just the right young man to play the lead took a long time. But now Robert Walker will be catapulted to stardom as Ensign Pulver. And he's got very definite opinions about the role.
You know what an ensign is? Well, the book will tell you he's an officer and a gentleman. But if you want the real truth from one particular Ensign Pulver, I can tell you that an ensign is the lowest form of life in the fleet. He's the man at the bottom of the table in officer's mess. A guy squashed between the brass on top and the enlisted men below. Of course, there are occasional compensations.
Then what were you going to do?
Oh, I can't remember. Well, stop watching the movie, Frank.
I can't do it just like that. I gotta work myself up into a lather.
Well, get it going.
I'm beginning to lather, Doc. Okay, Pops. Put this up your big fat butox and smoke it.
General Porter, sound the alarm!
Is Doc on?
Right here, Frank.
We're just about all set here. How you feeling, Doc?
In all honesty, Frank, not so good. How's he taking the anesthetic?
Well, just a minute.
Couldn't you and me go someplace quiet?
You are absolutely pagan.
And there's another young man bound for a new kind of stardom in Ensign Pulver. Singing star Tommy Sands in a great role.
Bruno, give me back that gun! Don't worry, Captain, it's not loaded.